Hi guys, welcome to Amateur Decorating Like a Pro. I am Catherine. So what progress have I made on decorating the house for Christmas? The kitchen area, it is done. Why the kitchen first? That's where everybody comes over and hangs out in that spot and talk and drink coffee and just have a really good time. And that's when no one is in a hurry to leave. And it's okay. We have that to look forward to in that space. I've got a couple of Christmas trees up, some DIYs, and of course I previewed the tablescape for Thanksgiving with you, and there are a couple of vignettes that I've added around the kitchen. So as you're looking at the area here, you can see that it is a very relaxed room, and it is where we're all very, very comfortable. We live in our home, really. I used to call this the brown room because everything in it was brown until we had the room painted last year. So it brightened it tremendously. This is everyone's, except me, favorite location on the couch. It is distress central is what I call it. But my husband and my youngest son, they will race to get to this location. And of course, my husband pulls rank on my son to make sure he gets the location. The black framed artwork here is a DIY. It's very simple, and it's going to be a short DIY coming up in the very next video. This is my chair, and remember that wrap that I purchased from Five Below? That's where I keep it. The first time I saw this green base was when we lived in the projects 81F Tyndall Heights in Macon, Georgia, and it sat on the coffee table. And it's very sentimental to me because it has endured multiple evictions. My mom was a single mom with 5 kids, and it also has endured, I believe, 2 house fires, and it sits on the mantle today. That reminds me of how good God is. I purchased these rocking reindeer from QVC about 3 years ago. I understand the rules for selecting a rug for your rooms. I understand it, but let me explain something to you. This is the house of testosterone, and I have had every size rug, correct size rug, underneath that table. And that means I've also had to clean every size rug that I had underneath that table. But this lovely little 5x7, I don't have any problems with keeping it clean, because when there's a spill, it hits the floor and they wipe it up. Let's talk about this eyesore right here. There was once a bookcase here and the television sat on top of it. I moved that to my office. So this console table is temporary, but in the meantime, I've got wires. So I took a basket and I took the wooden knobs. I purchased a packet of those from Hobby Lobby, glued it to the bottom of the basket and stained them. And then I filled the basket with paper. And this is just some shredded paper in a bag. I needed to make sure that I elevated this arrangement that I'm going to make. There was a sheet of foam, styrofoam, in the garage where I just received an order from Amazon. I use these very large magnolia picks. You've seen me use those before. I use them throughout the spring season. So here I am inserting them in the foam. And of course, anything else to fill the spaces here. Pine cones, hot glued to skewers. Perfect. That gave me additional texture in this arrangement. I also had some eucalyptus and I applied those to skewers as well. So I've got 3 unique elements to put into this arrangement, and I also added some of the red berries to add a pop of color. There was also some lotus pods, and I also included those in the arrangement. So to keep the arrangement from tilting over, I'm using a piece of ribbon to secure the foam to the back of the basket. There was some moss in my tote where my greenery was, and I placed a little bit of that on top of the foam. That covered up that white on the very bottom. And voila. Can you see the cord now? Now continuing onward with my farmhouse theme, I'm adding the 7-inch wreath to the top of the tree. I'm just twisting the top of the tree around the wreath. That's it. And then I'm going to add 2 cardinals. They have clips on them. And I'm going to add 1 to each tree. And that is going to be the tree topper. Very simple. Just clip right onto the wreath. Done. I added the red berries, the other poinsettia clips that you saw earlier in the previous haul throughout the tree, pine cones as well, gold pine cones. You'll see those scattered throughout the tree, and white ornaments too. Remember, I ordered the ornaments from Dollar Tree. I got 18 red and 12 of the white. The white ones were in pretty bad condition, and they accepted the return at the store. I didn't want that tree stand that came with the trees to show this time around, so I'm using an old DIY to lift the trees up. These are just 2 flower pots glued together. There's a 7-inch terracotta pot glued upside down to the larger pot. And basically, guys, that hole in the bottom of the terracotta pot is the perfect size of the pipe that's used on the Christmas tree, and it fits it nice and snug. So how did I come up with the buffalo check tree collar? Let me show you. We all know that tree collars are all the rave right now. You can find them in metal, you can find them in straw, you can find them made of wood. They're everywhere. So instead of making this donation of these lampshades that I chalk painted a long time ago, I took one of them to Hobby Lobby and I got just enough fabric to do 2 tree skirts. So here I am with my buffalo check fabric, and I'm going to roll it out, and I am just going to wrap the fabric around the lampshade. And then we're going to hot glue it down. And where there's a difference, well, we'll just use some paper to fill in the gap. You'll see what I'm about to do. This is supposed to be a drum style lampshade. However, it is slightly a bell style lampshade. That means one opening is a little bit smaller than the other. So this is considered, in my book, a bell style lampshade. Now, if you're going to do this project, you want to make sure, if you're going to keep the existing Christmas tree stand, make sure your lampshade can fit over it. If not, then your lampshade is going to be too small. The buffalo check pattern was perfect for this DIY. It was easy for me to line up the stripes in the fabric. When purchasing your fabric, keep in mind that it is folded in half. So when they're measuring it out, you can kind of see if you're going to need additional yardage. I did not. I just knew that it was folded in half and it would be okay if I filled in the gap a little bit with the brown paper, which you'll see me do a little bit later. The flower pot is filled with bubble wrap and some cut pieces of garland that I store with my Christmas ornaments. So to finish everything off, I add my standard brown paper wrap boxes, and you know I have those every year. I just change the ribbon color because in this side of the house, again, everything is very relaxed for the holiday season. The pine cones and the cut garland were the perfect finish for this tree. By the way, these trees were $129. I got them 90% off at home, and so I paid $12.99 plus tax for each of these trees. I absolutely love these trees. Now the trunk is a little bit thin, but you know I wrap that garland around the trunk so you do not see it. So I shop for bargains after the holiday season. They were the perfect height, and being able to put those in the flower pot was the perfect touch to get my collar around the tree. I love this. I absolutely do. I hope you love that coffee table setup too with my red truck. And I also use the live tree clippings that you can get from Lowe's. Yes, Lowe's has their Christmas trees in right now, the live ones. So they will be filling up the there's a little basket or a little container that they put all of those clippings in that fall off the tree. So you can just go in and get them. They are absolutely free. So I will be going in to get some more tomorrow. And the smell from just this small amount of clippings on the table is just amazing. It really smells like Christmas in this space. I'm so excited. In the very next video, I will be sharing with you the DIY artwork in this space. Well, that's it for me, guys. I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed seeing that space today. If you're not a subscriber, consider doing so today and press the bell so you don't miss a single video. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, stay in prayer and stay creative. Happy holidays!